For the past year, we have spent a great deal of time examining the Sith path. Not just the mythology or aesthetics, but the psychology behind it as well. The discipline, the confrontation with passion, the demand for sovereignty and self-authorship. That foundation is important because without it, the idea of balance is usually misunderstood as weakness or indecision. Today, I want to explore something different, something that predates modern Jedi dogma and modern Sith excess. The philosophy we often call Gray Jedi, but which may be more accurately described as an ancient form of integrated mastery. Because the idea of balancing light and dark is not new, and it was not always considered heresy. Before we begin, I want to make something clear. This lesson is not meant to contradict the teachings we have explored here, but to deepen them. What follows is an invitation to think critically and to examine these ideas from a different angle. In the era of the ancient Jedi Order, balance was not treated as purity, but rather treated as correction. When a Jedi fell too deeply into the dark side, they were not immediately destroyed. They were exiled, sent to the moon of Bogan, a place steeped in darkness, positioned opposite a moon saturated in light. The purpose of this exile was not punishment, but reflection. A fallen Jedi was meant to confront imbalance directly, to meditate on what they had lost, and to return only when harmony within the self had been restored. This balance was internal, not ideological. This alone should challenge how we think about the Force today. Early Jedi understood that denial did not resolve darkness, it merely displaced it. The solution was not eradication, but integration with the light. But if Jedi could fall to darkness and return through balance, an uncomfortable question follows. What happened to Sith who moved toward the light? During the era surrounding the Great Hyperspace War, there existed a group of ancient Sith lords who began questioning the dark side as an exclusive path. These were not warriors or opportunists. They were priests, philosophers, the Kasai, the priest caste of the ancient Sith. The Kasai were the thinkers of their civilization, the scholars of Sith magic, alchemy, and metaphysics. When their king and Sithari figure was slain, many interpreted his death not as a failure of strength, but as a sign that the Sith philosophy itself had reached a limit. Rather than doubling down on destruction, they sought evolution and integration. They began studying the light side, not out of moral awakening, but out of necessity. They believed the Sith would never claim the galaxy unless they transcended their own decay. For this, they were banished. The Sith Empire did not tolerate deviation. These priests fled into the unknown regions and eventually settled on the world of Tund. There, they formed what history would come to know as the Sorcerers of Tund. They were neither Jedi nor traditional Sith. The Sorcerers of Tund blended Sith knowledge with elements of Jedi philosophy. Not compassion as obedience, but restraint as clarity. Not passion as indulgence, but passion as fuel governed by awareness. They retained ancient Sith abilities long abandoned by later Sith generations. Rituals, sorcery, metaphysical arts dismissed by modern Sith as obsolete. While the Sith narrowed their power into domination and politics, the sorcerers preserved depth. This is part of why the Jedi feared them more than the Sith. The Sith were predictable, aggressive, expansionist, and reactive. The sorcerers were patient, unaligned, and masters of both inner darkness and light. They did not attack the Republic. They did not seek converts. They simply waited. And nothing unsettles an institution more than power that does not announce itself. The Jedi labeled the sorcerers heretical, not because they broke laws, but because they challenged assumptions and dogma. They demonstrated that one could engage both light and dark without collapsing into chaos or submission. That balance was not neutrality, but mastery in its purest form. This mirrors the deeper philosophical problem both orders struggled with. The Jedi relied on suppression. Emotion was seen as a threat to be removed, passion as corruption. This produced obedience and calm, but also fragility. The Sith embraced passion, but often without restraint. This produced strength and ambition, but also self-destruction. This gray philosophy emerges where both paths fail. It does not deny darkness, nor does it worship it. It does not reject restraint, nor does it surrender sovereignty. It integrates both sides into one. We see this same pattern in later figures often described as gray. Darth Revan did not become powerful by choosing light or dark. He became powerful by synthesizing responsibility, sacrifice, and ruthless clarity. Darth Marr ruled not through cruelty, but discipline. He wielded the dark side without indulgence. His authority came from consistency and clarity rather than fear. Darth Vectivus lived and died without self-destruction. His mastery was internal and his legacy stable. He represents what Sith philosophy could have been without excess, similar to the teachings I have on this channel today. These figures were seen as dangerous to both orders because they could not be easily controlled. They were truly sovereign. This brings us back to the question of naming. Is Gray Jedi the correct term? Or does it still center Jedi morality as the default? In many cases, Gray Sith may be more accurate. Not as a provocation, but as a recognition that sovereignty, authorship, and conscious integration align more closely with Sith philosophy than Jedi obedience. The deeper lesson here is not about choosing sides. It is about the inner work. Can you face anger without becoming it? Can you feel desire without being ruled by it? Can you hold restraint without surrendering authorship? If true mastery comes from integrating both the darkness and the light that is within us, is it better to strive toward balance over leaning too heavily to one side? Think of all the philosophies of our modern world and ask yourself, what are they trying to teach me? Perhaps true sovereignty is not aligning yourself with either side and more about integrating those dark and light parts of ourselves to become whole again. Until next time, apprentice. If this holocron resonates with you, please like and subscribe so I can bring you more powerful Sith lessons.